Torterra solo on energy, gonna unleash the frenzy plant, looking to remove Gelatin from the field of play. Down goes Gelatin, the opponent sends out Togekiss. Torterra with that rock type coverage. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Well, you're gonna have to watch the video to find out, so welcome back to the channel. I've had numerous people ask me, when is Shadow Torterra making his debut on the channel? Now it's got access to Mod Slap. Well, today is that day, and I cannot wait to shoutcast the battles. What makes me particularly excited to shoutcast these battles is there's a certain group of Pokemon in the Ultra League that really annoy the shit out of me, excuse the French. Pokemon like Steelix, Bellibolt, Gastrodon. And guess what? There is one Pokemon that completely shuts them down, and that is Torterra. Torterra's actually got quite a lot of targets. Empoleon, the new kid on the block, going to be very weak to that oppressive Shadow Mod Slap damage, as well as the old school poison type, stuff like Drapion and Tentacruel respectively. Today's battles have been sent in to me by 31 Scorpion, an absolute legend on the Discord server. I looked at the team and I was thinking, what on earth is going on here? If you would have looked at this team last season, you'd think there is no chance that any of these Pokemon get wins in the Ultra League. But to be honest, the Season 24 move rebalance was fantastic. And believe it or not, all three of these Pokemon more than have play and can take down numerous top meta threats. Let's keep the intro relatively short and sweet by my standards. And without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we lead Shadow Ninetales into Togekiss. In seasons gone by, this would be a very advantageous matchup as Togekiss would be operating as a very annoying tap-tap charmer. However, nowadays they operate more as a flying type attacker, meaning this is more of a neutral matchup. We see 31 Scorpion interestingly go for the Psyshock. Until this season, a Psyshock would have actually done more than a Weather Ball, despite not getting same type attack bonus. But now Weather Ball's been buffed, Weather Ball not only does more, but it's also cheaper too. So in type neutral matchups, you just want to spam the shit out of that Weather Ball if you are opting for Weather Ball and Psyshock respectively. The opponent makes a very nice catch, or so they'd like to think, onto Bellibolt. But this fat little frog's about to be very sad as it's about to meet its worst nightmare. Torterra is one of the hardest checks for Bellibolt in the entire game. Ground double resist electric, grass resist electric too, meaning their charge moves are triple resisted. If you are Bellibolt in this matchup, I'd recommend actually not throwing a charge move whatsoever, because all you're actually doing is feeding this Torterra yet more energy. Back out comes Togekiss. Togekiss looks to deny the energy, throwing back-to-back Psyshocks, but 31 Scorpion happy to invest all on his Torterra, knowing he's doubled up on charge moves, and if the opponent shields once, they're going to get knocked out regardless. Torterra fires off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant knocks out Togekiss. Out comes Stunfisk, and this game is over. Torterra's going to claim the entire sweep in battle number 1. The opponent tanked the Frenzy Plant, recognised they're not going to be able to kill our Torterra, and just like that, we're off to a 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Ninetales into Annihilate. So the recommended moveset is Weather Ball and Overheat. So potentially the opponent isn't going to know about the Psyshock. Unfortunately, Psyshock does go shielded. The opponent doesn't look to farm up to anything other than a Rage Fist, which would be an easy tank for Ninetales. Ninetales, even in its shadow form, is very bulky in the Ultra League. Ninetales reaches yet another Psyshock. The opponent 2-shield Annihilate, and they now have no shields to hide behind, and we've got 2 very hard-hitting Pokemon in the back. The opponent looks for the full counter farm down. Ninetales says no, reaches the Weather Ball. Weather Ball, decent chip damage, but the issue for us is we haven't really got a good way of sponging this energy. If Ice Punch is this Annihilate's second move, Torterra is double weak to Ice. And Latios, that's making his first appearance after having a well-deserved rest on the bench, is a part Psychic type, meaning the Rage Fist would also be super effective. We in turn 2-shield our Latios, commit to the full, Dragon Breath farm down, and out comes Licky, far too thicky. However, Latios about to put that bulk to the test. The first Aura Spear, massive damage, easily putting them below the half health range. We look to fire off back-to-back, looking to throw it on CMP to a body slam. The opponent doesn't throw, they get knocked out. Out comes Trevenant. We attempt the Seed Bomb catch attempt unsuccessful, and now as Torterra's bulk was about to be put to the test. Can Shadow Torterra survive a Shadow Ball? Easy tank for Torterra. Torterra says, put some respect on my name, reaches the Stone Edge, and Stone Edge is going to be all she wrote. GG's that opponent. Ultra League's notorious for being super bulky, but it doesn't look like it as these battles are flying by. In the next battle, we see the Pancake in the lead position. We make a savage catch, catching onto Torterra. However, Torterra is a hard counter, so potentially it should have pivoted into Latios. No! Why would you do that? Nidoqueen, much like Torterra, did gain access to Mod Slap this season. However, Queen happens to be the slapper that gets bodied by the other Mod Slappers. We can look to throw the Frenzy Plant, removing Nidoqueen from the field of play. The opponent's shield and the alarm bells are really starting to ring. Please tell me this opponent did not build a team. Triple weak to ground in the Ultra League. Ground types are so common. Oh boy, they are triple weak to ground. Out comes a Steel Penguin. Some glaring holes in this opponent's team building. They don't even shield the Frenzy Plant either. What is going on? We go for the Wham Bam combo play. Fire off the Weatherball. Weatherball able to remove the Penguin from the field of play. Much like said in the first battle, Weatherball is more energy efficient here, but I think this game's just over. Unless we have a heart attack, we could probably go put the kettle on, because I'm British, make ourselves a nice cup of tea, leave our phone down, come back to the battle, and this pancake still wouldn't be able to knock out our Torterra. That's still lurking in the back. I'm actually starting to feel bad for 31 Scorpion. He's probably invested a whole bucket of resources into that Shadow Latios. And in 2 of the first 3 battles, it hasn't even seen the field of play. Potentially a Mud Bomb knocks us out, although that is optimistic thinking. It does not. Latios does remain on the bench as we take that game. Heading into the next battle, fantastic lead. The opponent pivots into Cresselia. We haven't really got a great response for this thing. Moonblast would hit our Dragon for super effective, and Torterra is probably just going to get bullied due to lack of stat product. Oh boy, we actually switch in Latios. We are going to respect the Moonblast. This is probably a nice easy bait opportunity, but the opponent does full send. Our Dragon Breaths are shredding through their HP, but our charge moves are fully walled. But Luster Purge going to hit like a truck. Luster Purge is resisted, but unfortunately doesn't remove big bad bulky Cresselia from the field of play. We're going to end up 2 shielding Latios. Here in the mid-game matchup, the opponent aggressively send out Corviknight. We're going to fire off this Aura Spear, stall the timer out, and I imagine send Ninetales back into the arena. We do exactly that. Ninetales hits that Weatherball. Weatherball won't knock out, as this thing is hella bulky. I've personally been using Ninetales today in a team with Seeking, which you'll probably see later in the week, and I think Overheat is definitely the best secondary move. So for example, when that Cresselia was switched in, if we didn't have a great response, you could just Overheat and then dip out, because Overheat just claps everything insanely hard. Out comes a 2-shielded Kingdra. Ironically, exactly what I paired my Ninetales with. I think them not shielding there is huge for us, as we might be able to just commit to a full fast move beatdown. We send back out Latios. Latios tanks the Swift. We pivot into Torterra. The question is, can they reach the Outrage? It doesn't look like it. The opponent pivots into Cresselia. Can they reach the Outrage? They cannot. They die at the charge move and save 2 shields for next season. Heading into the next battle, we see Heliolisk in the lead position. Interestingly opting for Mud Slap, we again aggressively send out a hard counter. The opponent takes an eternity to switch out, and it becomes apparent they are core broken. While Skeledirge is hitting for super effective, they're also taking super effective in return. Orth, I think we should have thrown the Frenzy Plant there after 2, whilst that would have been suboptimal timing. Would have either forced both protection of the opponent or just took back switch. 31 Scorpion sends back in Ninetales. The opponent threw the torch on. This could be a boosted Shadow Ball. 31 Scorpion completely sacks Ninetales. And finally, we're going to see what Latios can do, as it's going to be a 2-shielded Latios versus the World. Back out comes Heliolisk. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking up the incoming break-in swipe, and out comes Guzzlord. This is definitely a matchup where that newly acquired Aura Spear will come in very handy. Aura Spear forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Latios rapidly running out of HP. Can 31 Scorpion manage his energy well enough to pull off the sweep? We overfarm as much as we physically can. Latios unleashes the Aura Spear. Aura Spear knocks out Guzzlord. Can we survive the Mud Slap damage to reach the next Aura Spear? Yes, we can. And Latios is going to get in on the action, claiming back-to-back victims as we take that game. I think today I'm probably going to call Latios about 1 million times. Like, why are they named so similarly? In the next battle, we see a fantastic lead, but a very problematic save switch. We're yet to see the quick move on that Galvantula. If they're on Volt Switch, which has been buffed this season, Torterra will be feasting on it. If they're on Fury Cutter, that won't be so good. This is problematic for us because not only do they have Earthquake, which they're going to need to knock us out here, they're running Night Slash, which our Dragon won't appreciate, and they get the boost. Of course they boost. We're going to see 31 Scorpion shield up the boosted Night Slash, under-tap this Weatherball, and just look to remove this Gliscor from the field of play. Despite them being boosted, they actually don't go all in on it, and out comes Swampert. Oh boy, Swampert is not going to appreciate the mighty Torterra, or should we call it Torterra at this point? We land the Side Shock, the opponent gets a massive Mud Shot farm down. Although in fairness, this is probably one of the ground types that has counterplay, as Hydro Cannon is neutral and going to do a lot. Not entirely sure why they sludge. Trainer, throw the hydro cannon. Wow, it's like they can actually hear me. I guess our opponent's just unfamiliar with Torterra's typing, whilst Grass is weak to poison. Ground resist, meaning it's only neutral. Ground's weak to water. Grass resist, so hydro cannon would also be neutral. It's an objectively a better move, meaning it will do more. We bank our energy, make the pivot into Latios, and I love this play. The opponent have to let this go, surely recognising the move from Torterra will do more. They do exactly that. Can we mod slap farm down? We're insanely low, but the voltage is a triple resist. It has 31 Scorpion, found his wing con. Holy, yes he has. A very close endgame, but 31 Scorpion, able to emerge victorious. GG's to both trainers. In the next battle, we see Ninetales into Skeledirge. I'd like to see 31 Scorpion throw 7 Embers and the Side Shock for optimal fast move time, and he doesn't let me down. He does for optimal timing. So using a 2-turn move into a 5-turn move. You want to throw 2 quick moves or 7. 31 Scorpion maintains disciplined fast move timing, lands the next Side Shock, getting Skeledirge below the half health range. Skeledirge opts to throw the Torch Song, vamping up their attack. However, if this is another Torch Song, which it is, it simply isn't going to cut it, and that might be a decision the opponent lives to regret. Ninetales able to reach yet another Side Shock. Side Shock isn't lethal, quick switch into Torterra, and we're able to mud slap snipe. Out comes Como. In theory, we're fully walled here, but Frenzy Plant, of course, is just going to do crazy damage, as it always does. We tank the upper hand, return fire with the Frenzy Plant. How much does this do? Decent. This is one of the perks of running any of the starter Pokemon that have had their com day. The moves of Hydro Cannon, Blast Burn and Frenzy Plant just really don't care about typing effectiveness. We once again snipe with Latios. Whatever's in the back clearly wasn't a fan, as the opponent instantly conceded the match. In the next battle, we see Bellibolt in the lead position. What on earth was going on there? That opponent also top left. It's like they could sense Torterra was lurking from the opponent, like, nah bro, I don't want that work. In the next battle, we saw Swampert in the lead position. We attempted a Hydro Cannon catch attempt unsuccessful. The opponent banks their energy and then send out Gardevoir. As much as I absolutely hate Charmers, now Charm generates more energy, I think Shadow Gardevoir could be an absolute menace in this meta, running triple Axel. With all the dragons running around, they're just continuing to buff up its already impressive attack stat. Triple Axel remove Torterra from the field of play. Ninetales re-enters arena, over farms, fires off the weather wall, knocking out Gardevoir. Back out comes Swampert. Quite surprised to see the opponent not throw here. They could have thrown on CMP, winning CMP. They did not. They tanked the Side Shock. We pivot into Latios, baiting out Salamence. I love Season 24. When did you ever think this would be a matchup you'd see in the Open Ultra League? Latios gonna fire off the Aura Spear, which would be resisted, but the Dragon Breaths have already put him into a range where a resisted Aura Spear will knock him out. Latios reaches the next Aura Spear, removing Salamence from the field of play. Back out comes Swampert. Swampert over farms. We see the no shield deployed, and I agree with that. We're going to reach a Side Shock before the opponent reaches 2 further Hydro Cannons. Ninetales re-enters the arena. The opponent is not doubled up. We're only 1 Ember off the Side Shock. We shield up the Hydro Cannon. We've actually received the energy for the Side Shock, and Side Shock is going to be all she wrote. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see a fantastic lead, but I'd much rather see Torterra on it. The opponent pivots out into Gyarados. The opponent could have actually went straight for an Aqua Tail here on CMP. They do not, so we're able to land the Side Shot. We continue to stay in. What are we cooking up here? To be honest, what do we even send into this thing? Torterra would be hitting for double resisted with the Mud Slaps. Latios playing super effective from the Dragon Breaths. We're kind of completely core broken, looking to make the best of a dire situation. Ninetales was able to force a Protect Shield back, but this Gyarados leaves completely loaded. We send out Latios, try for the Dragon Breath farm down. See the instant no shield deployed, calling this is only an Aqua Tail. Awful, that's a crunch. Torterra, buddy, you need to do the heavy lifting. Torterra gets the Mud Slap farm down. Out comes Armored Mewtwo. The opponent then pivots out into Steelix, potentially giving us a slim chance of winning. Is there any way we win this battle? We're just going to get debuffed into oblivion, and then Confusion is just going to do too much. Let's not write Torterra off. In Torterra, I believe. We're going to need to Mud Slap farm down before the next Psychic Fangs reach, and somehow reach 3 Frenzy Plants against Mewtwo. Unfortunately, unable to Mud Slap farm down Steelix, and that's going to be the final nail in our coffin. We are going to fire off the Frenzy Plant. 3 Frenzy Plants would have got the job done, but unfortunately unable to Mud Slap farm down Steelix before the debuff occurred, and that one does end in heartbreaking defeat. In the next battle, we saw Togekiss in the lead position. The opponent saves switch into Jellicent, and here comes Torterra. If we were still stuck on Razor Leaf like the good old days, hence you never saw Torterra in the Go Battle League, 31 Scorpion would be able to tap his phone like a raving lunatic and very quickly fast would beat this gelatin down. We correctly shot the Shadow Ball, the opponent then makes a huge mistake, not committing to the next Shadow Ball, settling for the serve, which is an easy tank for us. Torterra over farms, fires off the Frenzy Plant knocks out Gelatin, back out comes Togekiss, and we are full sending. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Ooh! Massive damage, not quite a one-hit KO, quite disappointingly. We tried to snipe with Ninetales, and out comes Nidoqueen. Oh boy, we're now the ones in trouble. We're potentially going to get fully Mudslap farmed down. To make matters worse for 31 Scorpion, the opponent has 2 shields to hide behind, and they've got a charge move banked on that Togekiss. However, potentially we're going to force both Protect Shields here. We do exactly that, but how are we going to sponge this energy? We do still have a shield to hide behind, but what do you shield? You can't shield the first move, as if they Poison Fang, potentially a Stone Edge will knock us out. Oh man, they outpaced our Poison Fang, we're obliged to shield. Do not let us get comboed. 31 Scorpion, spam that switch, spam that switch! Oh baby, what a catch. The opponent tries to serve up the Big Mac and the fries. 31 Scorpion, like, I'm on a diet, it's not happening. Can we get the resisted Dragon Breath farm down? There is no shot. There is no shot. We reach the Luster Purge. 1 HP and a dream, baby. What a absolutely crazy endgame with 31 Scorpion just about able to emerge victorious. Jesus Christ, man. Think of my blood pressure. Heading into the next battle. Oh, we saw the annoying Steel Snake in the lead position. The opponent say switches into Drifblim, and I agree with this. We can just stay in and heavily outpace. Trainer, that is an Icy Wind or Mystical Fire. Not entirely sure why we're shielding. Who even knows what's going on in some of these battles, man? This is crazy. 31 Scorpion fires off 1 Ember and the Weather Ball, even debuff, removing them from the field of play, and out comes Pidgeot. I'm going to try and not say it, but you know what I'm thinking? We should be throwing Weather Balls here, but it's kind of whatever at this point. I'm having fun, so we're just going to roll with whatever craziness is occurring. We are able to force a Protect Shield with the Weather Ball. We send out Latios. Are we going to call the bait? No, we're not. We're going to invest the Protect Shield. Good job we did as well, as that was a Brave Bird. The opponent then pivots into Steelix. We bank the Luster Purge and hard punish him with Torterra. Torterra mud slapping away, having a nice little tasty snack. If I was Callum on toast, I'd say the opponent has a shield, but it simply doesn't matter. We can just fully mud slap farm him down, leaving with the Stone Edge, and the opponent can pick their poison. Would you rather get Stone Edge to their face, or would you rather eat the Luster Purge? Decision time is coming up very shortly for you, trainer. We're going to force him the Stone Edge. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not, and Torterra claims one final victim to probably round out one of the craziest shoutcasts I've ever done. Oh my days. 31 Scorpion, what are you doing to me, buddy? I've been making content a long time, but I think that is definitely one of the most rollercoaster shoutcasts of all time. A huge thank you to 31 Scorpion for bringing us some epic entertainment and showcasing the power of the mighty Shadow Torterra. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, I would say consider subscribing, but after that absolute shambles, I highly doubt anyone is going to subscribe to this video. But regardless, I'll see you all in the next one.